There you go, mate.
Good, how are you?
I notice making the most of the non-mark.
Until midnight, yeah?
Yeah, what do you think of all that? Hey?
Well, I don't know. I'm just,
You're gonna wear a mask.
well, I have to. I don't want to get fined.
That's how they fear everyone. Fine.
Yeah.
And people don't like paying that money.
Threats, yeah.
Money talks, doesn't it?
Well, but don't do it though, that's the thing. You can't.
But it's not even a law, mate. It's not a law,
I
it's
know.
a direction.
Where are they getting these laws from?
They're just making them up.
I know.
And people don't understand the rights.
Keeping in towers, sorry you can't leave your tower block, sorry you can't do this, you're going to get fined. It's like, where are these laws written?
Who makes up like $1,652 if you know, the social distancing? Who makes up that figure? Who makes up the 200?
It's arbitrary, isn't it? They're just making up like so.
No, have you done much research about all this? I'm pretty big on YouTube, and I'm pretty.
Look,
It's nothing to do with the virus. It's all about control. You understand that?
I've always understood how they're able to manipulate or use control by fear. And,
That's it.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty sensitive issue. This was planned years ago. Even in October last year in New York, they had an event 201. Have you heard of that?
No.
2 months before, Bill Gates funded it. Exactly what's happening now. Exactly, to the T. And 2 months later, they rolled it on.
It doesn't seem to correlate to how we've reacted
Previously, the swine flu,
to anything.
remember 9 years ago?
Yeah.
3 times as many cases, double the deaths. We just let it ride. They are using this to. They know they've got the people by the balls, but it's sad.
Everyone just jumps on, but
It was all planned. You know, the first wave and the second wave. They told us. You know what? Every one of us has coronavirus. Do you understand that?
yeah.
Do you know that? We've got thousands of viruses in our body. Since the 60s, we've had coronavirus in us.
Yeah.
And depending on your immune system and the diseases you catch, you're going to have more of it in you.
Yeah.
You know how they started off in Wuhan?
Viral load, yeah.
You know, it's never been tested for COVID-19. I mean, COVID-19 has never been isolated and purified. You don't understand how that works? You've actually got to isolate it from any other virus to actually identify it and then have a test that actually picks out COVID-19. It's never been done. There's doctors talking about it everywhere, but you won't hear them on the mainstream.
They'll tell you.
All they're testing is a genetic strand of coronavirus, which we all have. But the elderly have it more because they have a less, working immune system. In fact, the virus is actually, you heard the term exosome? You probably have an exosome. It's what develops, the reaction to a disease.
Yeah.
It's actually created inside your body. It cannot be passed like all this. So they're telling you. It's an exosome that actually creates when you get a disease. And you know when you get a fever, you're really hot and sweaty. That's your body detoxifying. It's doing good.
It's fighting it. Yeah.
So a virus actually is a benefit to you.
I've never been scared of catching, most cold viruses.
No, this is just
That is good for you.
the season of flu. This is a season of flu. The numbers of the season of flu have dropped. And they're using that. You know, 900 people in Australia died from the season of flu last year.
Yeah, lots.
And this has got 120 deaths in 6 months. How was the comparison?
Yeah, just much higher.
Did we all panic last year because 900 died? But even those numbers are fudged because they all want you to take the flu vaccine. That's another thing you stay away. This is all about the vaccine. You understand that? This is all about a vaccine that we do not need because we don't even have a virus. And it's all about inserting the microchip, whether it's a microchip or a gel, which is nanoparticles, because we're going to be all controlled like a computer. No more cash. You heard about that? Cashless society?
Well, that's the way.
That's all going to be controlled by what you got inside you through the vaccine. Have you been tested with this shit?
I had to, because I had to go and get a medical appointment, which they wanted a test before. So yeah.
Where was it done?
Windenburg. Drive all the way to Windenburg.
A drive-through?
Windenburg, yeah.
Was it just a drive-through?
Yeah.
Did the woman take off her coat and mask and gloves every time she did a different person? Because that's the standard you have to do. By rights. So I've just made a video on it. They show you actually how to do it. The doctor takes it all off, puts it all, takes the mask, puts it all for every different. How far do they stick that thing down your nose? it would have been uncomfortable.
Yeah, stick it right here.
Because it wasn't about that deep. I saw it. I never saw it as I saw this morning with the doctor actually put it on. It was, I nearly died and the woman never cringed. Honestly, it's more to it than just
something going on.
Since when do they have to do that when
I'm
they
just
test someone?
writing it out, see what happens.
You know what it is? They actually putting the vaccine in there. The video I made this morning on my channel, it shows how they can do nasal vaccination. That's why it's all test, test, test. Why are they so jumpy about tests? Because of that. And you know the test numbers, how they supposedly the second wave in Victoria, Melbourne mainly, if you use the number of people tested with the positive cases and get the percentage, it's like 0.05, 0.06 now. Whereas going back in March, April, May, June, it was 2, 1.5, 2. It's lower now than it was before because we weren't testing so many.
Is that?
But it's like testing for an IQ. You're going to get more morons, right? The more you test, the more morons you're going to get. But they're not telling you. They say cases, cases. Every morning this idiot gets out there. Fear, fear. Oh, another 250 cases. Then the other.
I don't listen to it all.
Brett Sutton comes out. Who the fuck is Brett Sutton, for God's sake, honestly? And you get that Jenny McCarthy. Oh, horror heads.
I know. I don't look at it all. I can't watch them.
I pull the phone anymore. I don't watch it anymore. Don't read the papers. If we didn't watch TV or read the papers and it just got on with our lives, before the mask, you wouldn't have known any difference. Pandemic is when people are dropping dead in front of you, which they tried. Remember those videos in China, right at the start?
Yeah, in Italy.
How many people have you seen dying like that since then? It was all staged, mate. All that shit in China was staged.
Yeah.
And the Italy numbers,
to think about.
they use that as the Western, because everyone says, it doesn't happen in the West. This is all about the West. Italy's got one of the worst respiratory problems in Lombardy, that area. Came out the following 2 weeks. 99% of all these people supposedly died in Italy have to be reclassified because they had all underlying health conditions. You know what that means? 1, 2 or 3 more.
Things that were obviously killing.
That's what it is. That's why right now, anyone that gets tested, guaranteed, everyone is positive. Everyone. But they don't test anyone. That's the biggest load of bullshit. You're telling me 20,000 people are getting tested in a pathology today in Melbourne? They get the samples and do what they like with it. They just fudge the figures like they want. What about the woman that died yesterday, 100 years old? Come on.
You can't roll that out. I've got a file.
I hope you've understood something. Don't take the vaccine, all right?
I won't.
Peekay Censored. Peekay Censored on my YouTube channel. Take care, mate.
You too.
Hey, just before you go, I went to my doctor yesterday. He's got an exemption. Have you got any breathing problems? You can make it up. I don't know if you can go with it.
I'm not going to have it, don't worry. No one's going to force me to have
No,
it.
this is the mask.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to wear it if you've got breathing problems.
Of course. Yeah.
If you've got any breathing problems, don't
That's
have
all right.
Yeah. I went 2 days ago. He threw me out. That's what it seemed.
Do you have to carry a certificate or something, man?
Oh, it's got my wallet. I've done it. No,
Just to say you don't have to
well,
worry.
I'm going to come tomorrow and see what they do with me.
Yeah.
These clowns are going to say, I'm going to film it.
Yeah.
And they're going to, what right have you got to, because they cannot ask me for my medical, any health things. There's my letter.
Yeah.
You know, medical certificate. I won't show this soon. He'll say, I said, I've got a medical exemption. What is it? I said, it's got none of your business. That is a personal thing. Please give me your name and number.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to fucking take you to court. Because that's what you can do. There's no way known you can give your personal details, your health personal details, to some clown security guard. Have a good day. Oh, sorry, I put that in my pocket. Anyway, hope it's still going. He was a good man. Oh, got so much rubbish here. I'm going to check out now. He was one of the rare ones that wasn't wearing a mask. There was another guy somewhere. Well, I'm home now. I just showed you that. That was one guy that I saw without a mask. There were a few others, not many. He was pretty switched on. As I'm sitting here having a cup of tea, our honourable leader is doing his daily dictator Dan and his virus horror show. I'm not watching it because I can't stand bear. Oh, fuck. The guy just makes me puke. But I'm getting text messages from friends saying exactly what I've been telling people. They, as you know, masks are going to be mandatory as of midnight tonight. So you can guarantee in his daily dose of bullshit, there's going to be a record number of cases in the last 24 hours. And yes, exactly that. 484 cases. Highest number ever recorded. And apparently 2 people, you're not going to believe this, 2 people in their 90s have died. And he gives his heartfelt sympathy for the families of these 2 poor 90 plus, whatever, 99 I think one of them was. Anyway, and people still can't see this shit. All right, I'll talk about that more tonight on my podcast, but I just want to share a more interaction. I bought my shit out of Coles, I walked outside, I was going to cross the road to the car park, and I saw these 2 old guys sitting on the bench in front of Coles. I said, fuck it, I'll go and say hello. They weren't wearing masks. One was fairly old looking, probably 70, the other one probably 60. And they were pretty switched on, which was great. And I spoke for about 5-10 minutes. Told them a few things as usual. And then they had to go. And we're just sitting there watching, honestly, and cars going past. Idiots on their own with face masks in their own cars. And they're actually telling us you don't have to wear a mask if you're alone in the car or with family. You know, what difference if you're with family, or with your, next door neighbour or girlfriend or whatever. But every second or third car idiot was wearing a mask, and that goes for driving home or going to Coles. I'd say every 4th car idiot was wearing a mask, and you can guarantee come tomorrow that just about everyone. Anyway, these 2 guys left, and a woman came out, no mask, and I couldn't help. Yeah, how you going? Mask thing. And she was cool as. She lit up the smoke. I told her about, ask if she had asthma, get a medical exemption, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we talked about a few things, and she mentioned how her mother, aging mother was inside, and she was waiting for her to come out. And she was actually wearing one of these visor masks that the doctor yesterday suggested I should get. So, it's funny that she would say that. But anyway, we talked about a few things. She was pretty cool. She knew, I mentioned Bill Gates, and she said that guy's not even human. I said, you're fantastic. Then I said, have you heard of George Soros? And she hadn't heard of George Soros. And I guarantee you, I don't know what figure, I guarantee you 90% of people have never heard of George Soros. I tell you, go around and ask people. I reckon 90% have never heard of him. And this woman was pretty switched on. Anyway, I wished her luck, told her about the vaccine. She says, no way. Then what did I do? I started going to my car. Yeah, that's right. She had to go. She sort of walked inside, and so I started walking back to, along the side, across the road to the car park. And as I was going across, she came out with her mother. And yeah, her mother was wearing one of these visors. And she said she's only wearing it for health reasons. She wasn't afraid of this COVID shit. Whatever. I don't know what she meant by health reasons, but I told the daughter, can you, sort of tell her what I've told you, and, you don't need that shit. But anyway, that's up to her. So I went to my car, and just opposite my car, there was a guy loading 30 canned packs of Coca-Cola in the back of his van. And he went away to push his trolley away, and I walked up to his van, and he came back and says, mate, Jesus Christ, there was 30 packs of Coca-Cola. I said, you know how bad that shit is? He says, but I shouldn't be telling this because I drink it myself sometimes. Yeah, he says, it was on special, so yeah, I'll get it when it's on special. He too wasn't wearing a mask. And he actually doesn't even live in Melbourne, so I don't know how, he lives in Geelong, and how he got here because of the
lockdown. I suppose you could come in, Mel. I don't know, because Geelong's not part of this bullshit lockdown. Anyway, he couldn't talk much. I just said a few things. He wasn't too worried because he lives in Geelong. But anyway, I said, don't worry. It'll come to Geelong. It'll be all over Australia soon, this shit and the mask shit. So that's my story today. And I suppose I better check out what Dictator Dan's been telling us. Have a good one, guys.